So my people, Matatu in Kenya is a Swahili word meaning a privately owned minibus that is used for public transport. But then you might be there asking yourself, what does this Matatu mean? So back in the 1960s, people used to pay 3 cents mapeni matatu, which is Swahili for 30 cents. As in, that was the fare, flat charge for matatus back in the day. So that is the origin of the word matatu. Yeah, so you might be there asking yourself also, why were these matatus invented? They were invented to provide a flexible way to transport people during a period of population growth and independence. The flexibility of the matatus, the drivers would take passengers wherever they wanted to go, from moving from point A to point B, and they were really, really, really cost effective. Yeah, because back in the day, as I have told you already, 30 cents, which reflected in the name, which comes from, Mathuri. Yes, the Matatu industry is free from foreign aid and is the largest employer in Nairobi's popular economy. Yeah, digest that. Matatus are also a representation of Nairobi's identity and culture, and are often decorated with, graffiti, slogans, and names. But before we get there, guys, I want to take you back in the day and show you something that's also, that also left me zileza. Okay, so back in 1973, President Kenyatta exempted vehicles under 3 tons from paying TLB licenses, which recognized matatus as a mode of transportation. Okay, in case I am using a lot too much jargon of matatus, TLB is a license that gives you permission to operate in a certain region. For example, if you have Nairobi TLB, you can move from Embakasi to which other part of Nairobi? To Muthaiga, to whatever. I mean, so long as you are within Nairobi. If you have a Kiambu TLB, you can move to Thika, to Juja, and wherever. Yes, according to my understanding. So when President Kenyatta did that, the number of matatus in Nairobi increased from 373 in 1973 to 1,567 in 1979. Yes, in the early 1970s, bus company owners were concerned about the matatu boom as matatus were infiltrating their business. Actually, as we speak, matatus are a popular form of transportation in Kenya, with an estimated 70% of commuters using them daily. The matatu culture grew in the 1980s and 90s, influenced by hip-hop music and culture. Matatus are now often brightly decorated Japanese microvans, not just microvans, also minibuses. The 33-seaters. Yeah, yes, you guys, I am very sure you have come across both the microvans and the minibus, the 33 and the 14-seater. Okay. And then coming back to Uhuru era, former President Uhuru, he made history of sorts when he abandoned his limousine, jumped into a matatu, and paid 30 shillings fare for a journey between State House and Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, to the surprise of members of the public and security officers en route. Right? Actually, many Kenyans, including Matatu owners, drivers, conductors, were amazed to find the Matatu carrying president edged between security vehicles and being escorted to the KICC, where the head of state launched the PSV cashless 1963 card during the Matatu Owners Association annual delegates conference. So Matatus have been making, all sorts of stories. These leaders. Okay. Yeah. Again, as I take you back in Jomo Kenyatta era, so as something happened, he issued a decree recognizing Matatus as a legal mode of transport, while at the same time freeing them from any regulation that would have been needed to enact government legislation and accountability over their operations. The thinking then was that Matatus were a force for good, and their unhindered movement was seen as a reward to enterprising owners who had it upon themselves to ensure. President Jomo Kenyatta, at some point, he issued a decree recognizing Matatus as a legal mode of transport, while at the same time freeing them from any regulation that would have been needed to enact government legislation and accountability over their operations. So at some point, if you guys have like a hint regarding the history of Matatus, there was this time, let's say, some sort of rowdiness and some type of behavior was associated with people operating Mat3 at some point, guys. So there came a time there were rules. If you guys remember the Mishuki rules, the rules which came into effect in February 2004 required all public taxis, that is Matatus and buses, to install speed governors, passenger safety belts, operate in clearly defined routes, to carry a specified number of passengers and their drivers and conductors, to be disciplined, and to have a clean security record, which is what is, happening at the time. Yeah, so that was put into effect back in 2004. That is quite a while, guys, because we are in, as I do this, we are in 2024. So, okay, now let me take you guys where the tea is. Although origins of Matatus can be traced back in the 1960s, Matatus saw growth in Kenya in the 80s and 90s. All right, like I was saying, the influence of widespread hip hop music and culture by Black Americans in the 1980s, and by early 2000s, Matatu culture was something else. If you guys do not know, then I am here to tell you that one of the pioneers in regards to having these heavily decorated Mat3s, the Nganyas with the screens and the music system. One of the pioneers is Mike Mbuvi. By then, he was not even called Sonko. He was Mike Mbuvi. All right. So what happened? Was that Route 58. You guys know 58 Buru. Back in the day, Sonko had a good number of manyangas plying that route, and he would make a good amount of money. On average, at the end of the morning shift at midday, he would have his clean $200 panganya. That is what sources says. excluding whatever he would make during the evening rush hours. Yeah, and this, left Sonko a big boss. He was a big boss. Yeah, guys, so now let us dive deeper into, all this juice. Back in 2000 to early 2000s, art forms such as graffiti piggybacked on the music, with both the music and graffiti finding their way into Matatus. Back in the day, it was the unruly public transport minibuses. I do not really get the unruly part, but okay, we move. So the evolution saw Matatus elevate from just plain looking jalopies into manyangas, as in now the cozy rides, what we call manyangas as for today. And getting deep into what it consists for a matatu to be a manyanga or just to operate. We have matatu crews, we have drivers, we have conductors, and we have the hangers on. In another term, we call them kamagira, who moonlight as drivers and conductors. At that time, by when this culture now was getting into the industry, like some sort of, the birth of the cultures, these people lived up to the billing as some of the most fashionable Nairobians. They were dressed to the nines and blinged up as if teleported from a Snoop Dogg music video. They had tattoos, dyed their hair, wore gold and silver teeth, chains, bangles and rings. Deres and kanges were a hip-hop version of the Democratic Republic of the Congos. Immaculately dressed sapiens. They were earning a modest daily wage, which was spent as quickly as it was gained. Again, this is not me telling you this. This is not me telling you this, but apparently that is what was happening. Now getting back to the Mike Mbuvi's stories. At first, he couldn't afford Nganyas, so he settled for a couple of worn-out Matatus, which deployed into the deep of Eastlands in Dandora D, a sprawling settlement that hosts Nairobi's largest dump site. It was while operating on these Eastlands back routes that Mbuvi gained a deeper understanding of the business and the place. It was also around this time, he was aged around 25, in 2000, that Mbuvi got in trouble. Yeah, so guys, by 2010, when now Sonko was around 35 years of age, he had a dozen of like the swankiest Nganyas, like 5'8" had by then. So by this time, Manyanga had evolved from Manyanga in the 90s to Nganya in the 2000s. Now we are talking of 2010. This all plied route number 58, operating between downtown Nairobi and Buruburu Shopping Center. The rule for Matatus is the more flagrant, the better. So Mbuvi went all out, pioneering the installation of, you hear? Are you getting this point? He is the pioneer. He went all out, pioneering the installation of big screen TVs at the front of the passenger cabins of his 32-seater Matatus and giving them names like, you guys know, Brown Sugar, Convict, Ferrari, Lakers, and Rough Cuts. So now commuters could now watch the music videos as the song played. Mbuvi even added a double-decker bus to his fleet, affording Buruburu residents a lofty view as they traversed their city. Wow, that must have been very nice. Very nice for you Buruburu people. So even before Buru was like, the Buru of back in the day, there was also the likes of Akina Isili, which people called Isich. I don't know if that is a thing by now. There was South B, Outer Ring, and Kangemi. But now when we had like this new era in public transport, Isli route number 9 gave Buru 58, South B, Outer Ring, and Kangemi a run for their money. Like Isli was one of the fondest, one of the coolest neighborhoods in Nairobi in the 90s. Okay, it was an era in Isli where you were either connected to a Matatu or knew someone who worked in the Matatu business. Matatu's members wielded considerable power. We call the shots. So when the Nganyas job like had shikad. If you are Kenyan, you know what I mean when I say shikad. So it had a good number of people who made a living out of, Matatus. For example, this guy named Nasib Abdul Malik, popularly known as Samburu, was the godfather of the Matatu sound systems in Nairobi in the 90s. As in, that was the guy who was behind, all those big brand music systems. He says he used to import electronics from Dubai. Yeah, but at some point, Manyanga culture died in Isili, and apparently the reason why Manyanga culture died was the high demand for transport to Garissa Lodge and the expansion of Garissa Lodge. So many Kenyans discovered that affordable shopping at Garissa Lodge, leading to heavy traffic and an end to the circular route between Isili and town. Like, yeah, Matatus could no longer do a circuit, like, ile from town to Isili and back. It could not happen because shoppers became the main passengers of the Matatus. So the demand to shop in Garissa meant passengers could no longer have the luxury to be choosy on the Matatu to use. And okay, back in the day, if a Matatu was not a Manyanga, it was either a Nganya or they used to call them Wangoras. And so the Wangoras slowly replaced the Manyanga's trademark of Isili vibrant life in the 90s. Yeah, and that is how now the culture was, something in the likes of Kinaburu and the rest. And now Isili had to just, commute using the ordinary Matatus. And also, it became expensive to repair Manyangas because of the bad roads. But later, when the roads were paved, it created a major traffic jam. While it only took 15 minutes to do a circuit, it now took like an hour to beat the traffic. So that was not even very good for business. So as the culture kept growing, now we had these Nganyas all over Nairobi. We had the likes of Umoja, we had the likes of even like outside Nairobi as a county, like from the outskirts of Nairobi, we have the likes of Rongai. Rongai Kwanza has the baddest. We have the likes of Kiambu. Ooh, you go there and you're just amazed. And now in the routes of the likes of Kina Umoja, we had Matatus like the likes of opposite, we had Mamba at some point, we had Ali Bumaye, we had many, like you go to Umoja, you have Mhudumu ambulance, and you just spoiled for choice. Now we head over to Rongai. We had the likes of Kina Ambush, we had the likes of Boombox. Wow. Mad music system over there. We had Black Sugar. No, not Black Sugar, sorry. Black Sugar is my friend. We had the likes of Galdem Sugar. We had the likes of Dortmund. I don't know if I spelled that right, but the yellow Nganya. Not like we still have those that I have mentioned. Back to Islands, Embakasi, we have the likes of before we go to Islands, we have Manifest from Rongai. We come to Aroji, they are kind of uniformed, but we have very dope Matatus. We have the likes of Magufuli, Tanzania in it. We have the likes of Kina Fruity Loops. Oh my god, they look so good. Now we come over to Embakasi. We have Matrix. We have Brollout. We have Jinx. We have Genesis. We have Restoration. We have lots of them. And I mean, if you have not experienced a Kenyan Matatu, you have a long way to go. Now back to Kiambu, we have 300. We have Code. At some point it was called Code 6. Now it's Code. We have Brickstone. We have Sub-Zero. We have God the Master himself, V613. We have Doyen. We have so many of them, and this culture is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to experience Matatu. I mean, if you have no links or connections to experience a Matri, I think you should hit me up in the DM. And in case I have left any of the current Matris happening at the time, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. Sony Classic, they have this Matatu called Soul Plane to ndege la kichizi. Yeah, that one has gone through many, I would say, reincarnations. We have had it in purple. We have had it in after purple it was pink, and now we have it in yellow, in mustard yellow. And I think that is one of the best Mathris when it comes to maintenance. It's a KC, like the number plate, it's KC, and it is in the best of conditions you've ever experienced. And I have loved the culture of, people appreciating what is happening in the industry, people having like awards. We have had opposite as Kenya won for, I think, that time now. And it's a good job you're doing. And all shout out to the people behind sounds, the likes of Baneta Sounds. He has worked on Genesis, he has worked on Brickstone, he has worked on Sub-Zero, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. And the likes of Kina Maxi, the likes of, all these guys doing the exterior, the interior. There we have our Kimoda. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I love how people from other countries come to our countries, enjoy Matatu rides. I mean, it's putting us on the map up there. Yeah, and so far so good. Until next time, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, like, and share this video. See you on the next one. Bye.